Welcome to There Is a Method to the Madness. My name is Rob Maxwell, and I'm an exercise physiologist and personal trainer. I am the owner of Maxwell's fitness programs, and I've been in business since 1994. The purpose of this podcast is to get to the real deal of what really works, and most importantly, why things work. Hence the name, There Is a Method to the Madness. Before I get to today's show, I want to thank Jonathan and Lynn Gilden of the Gilden Group at Realty Pros. They are committed to providing the highest level of customer service in home sales. Why don't you give them a shout and figure out what your home is worth? 386-451-2412. What would you think if I sang out of tune? Would you stand up and walk out on me? Would you? Well, let me ask you something. Will you lend me your ears and let me sing you a song, and then I will really try not to sing out of key? Well, you probably didn't tune in for that today, now did you? So those are the little lyrics with a little help from my friends from the Beatles. A little side note on that, and then I'll absolutely not leave you hanging and explain why I'm starting this podcast this way. But I don't know, 5-6 years ago now, we went to the 50th anniversary of the Woodstock celebration in New York, and just so happened to be up there actually, and went. And one of the bands playing was Ringo, and he sang that, which I thought was super cool because I'm a Beatle freak. And, it was cool to just hear one of the Beatles do one of their songs. So that's interesting, isn't it? Only to me, I am sure, and you could give a you-know-what. But the reason why I bring all of this up is because I'm going to talk about the value of spotting, having a friend in the gym. I'm going to talk about some of the recent information on spotting. I guess I shouldn't say it's recent. We've known this for a while, but I want to talk about some of the research on this. It's pretty cool. There are so many things about the psychological and mental component of training that trump everything else. And if I could just get you listeners and trainees and readers of my stuff to grasp that, because it's so funny how people want to know the physiology broken down all the time and what happens. And quite frankly, most or many people don't have the prerequisite scientific information to sometimes understand what's going on, yet they want to know. I don't know. Physiology is important. Of course it is. I've got a degree in it. I spent a lot of money for it. It is, but it's we know so much information. The problem is people don't do it. We can say all this till we're blue in the face, and then people don't show up. So it's I spend so much time on these psychological things because they are so important. People get wrapped up into what is the best, the most ideal training program in the world. And then we get hit with this information like this that I absolutely love, talking about the power of spotting, and go, well, that's cool. If you follow that perfect periodization, that classic linear periodization plan that charts your workouts for you for literally 2 years leading up to your Olympic Games, yeah, I could see where that's going to have a lot of, results for you. Of course, you still kind of have to show up, but I could see where, that's very beneficial. Or we can get a workout partner and just do a million different kinds of workouts that work. But the important thing is we've got to show up so they can work. We've got to do it, right? So we see all these fancy plans, and then we get blown away with information. So one of them, I've seen a few, but two of them that really, really stand out to me, I'm going to go over with you. So in Steve Magnus's new book, The Inside Game, I really like him. He's really good. I believe his educational background is in sports psychology. and all that. I know he's a performance coach. He was a performance coach at Nike, and he was actually a whistleblower there that kind of caught them, not the shoe portion of it, but caught like the training staff doing some things and some abuses that they shouldn't have been doing and using some drugs they shouldn't have been using. So unfortunately, he got kind of infamous for being a whistleblower with that. I don't mean like that's a bad thing he did. I think it's totally, totally courageous for him to do that. I just mean that he's got so much more value out there than being just a whistleblower. Like this guy's a phenom in the performance world, and he's given us so much great information. So in his new book, In the Inside Game, he talks about this study they did on support, on literally spotting somebody. And what they found was that if a person has somebody spotting them on a bench press, like not even hands on the bar, not helping, just available, like right behind the person is going to get 4.5 more reps than if that person wasn't there. I mean, that's a lot. I mean, if we're looking at what we call rep max, okay? So rep max means that we're doing the most repetitions we can for a given rep range. So for example, a rep max of 10 would be, that's the most reps you can do for 10 reps. So if we're talking rep max, and I'm not trying to confuse you, I'm just trying to show you like what this really means. Like this is like a ton of extra repetitions. We can typically do rep max 10 with about 75% of our 1 rep max. That's usually what we can do. And 5 rep max is somewhere typically around 88% of our 1 rep max. So we're talking that alone's like a 12% difference in load if we're looking at it that way, which, I like to do, and I probably overcomplicated it. Or we can look at it simplicity and just say, dude, they can get 4.5 more reps. That's a lot, man. Like, that's huge just from somebody standing there. And I can tell you that from my own personal experience as a gym rat, when I was growing up working out in my late teens and early 20s, like most young men, I was obsessed with the bench press. Like I wanted to bench press more weight. Like that was my main goal. Like Mondays at most, like let's just say hardcore gyms, Mondays are going to be like International Chest Day. Like most guys are going to be benching and benching and benching. That's just what guys like to do, especially younger men. So I was like obsessed with it. So I found, probably just through trial and error and accidentally finding this out, but I found that if my workout partner put their hands on the bar, like in the middle on the smooth part, put their hands on the bar, gave me a lift off, and then just held the bar, not helping, not pulling, just held it, I did so much more. And I found, of course, I didn't invent this. I mean, I got this idea because I saw other people do it, right? So I found that I would really just push harder to the point where I'd rack the weight, whatever rep range I wanted to do, and I'd ask my workout partner, I'd say, hey man, did you help? Because it felt like you helped. And they'd say, no, I promise. I just had my hands on the bar. I did not help. It felt like they did, and you say, oh, well, maybe they're just making you feel better. No, because I would flip around and do the same thing. Then I would be the spotter. Again, I'm not educated yet. I am not a personal trainer yet. I've gone to college, but I'm majoring in psychology most likely during this part. I've worked out for several years at this point, but I wasn't educated. It was just, this is what we did, a lot of trial and error. So I would spot my friends and the same thing. They say, are you sure you didn't help? I'd be like, man, I did not help. I just had my hands on the bar. So it worked. There is something about it, and I will tell you what that is. That something is security. When we feel safer, we push harder. I know that's counterintuitive, right? Because you might think, well, if you feel like your life's dependent upon it, you're just going to push and push. It's like, yeah, I mean, I've heard those studies about, person pulling the car off their kid, those types of things. I'm not going to like discount that. I mean, okay, that probably happened, whatever. But the studies kind of show like the opposite effect. I don't know about that. That's like life and death or whatever. I'm not even going to touch that. I'm talking about like the studies show that if we feel safer, we try harder. Plain and simple. And when you're bench pressing or doing squats or, exercises where your safety literally is at risk, like let's say you don't get a lift. Well, if you're bench pressing, it's stuck to your sternum, or if it comes down too hard, it's going to break your sternum. A squat has even worse ramifications if something happens. So, there is definitely risk involved. And the studies have shown that we actually push harder when we feel safer. I can remember it wouldn't even be close. So I was pretty strong back, in these times. That was my goal. It was what I wanted to do. So I was bench pressing over 300 pounds. And, my maximum back then was 360 pounds with hands on the bar, I must say. So I didn't compete in powerlifting because that would have been illegal. I was bodybuilding. That was more the sport I competed in, but I still cared about strength and all. But you can have hands on the bar, and obviously it counts to you in the gym. It's not going to count in a, official powerlifting competition. But I guarantee this, I didn't even try it because I'm not an idiot. But I mean, I guess I could be, but I wasn't in this situation. But I don't even know what would have happened if I would have tried 360 pounds without hands on the bar. I mean, regardless, I don't believe partners were helping, but there would have been a panic in there and I wouldn't have gotten a lift. So I just know for me, it worked. And then the studies have shown that that's true for everybody, as I just quoted Magnus's studies. All right. So then a little bit more, some Westcott studies have shown that people that end up doing spotted assisted reps. Now, in this case, a person is assisting them. So now we can call this one of two things, people in the gym world. You can call it assisted reps, or you could call it forced reps. Either way. But that means now we're not just spotting. Like at the gym here, we spot. I mean, at least the trainers, we spot. Like we're not going to have people really do forced reps per se. Like that's not usually the type of thing we're working on. Naturally, we spot. So we do spot. And there's been countless times where I put my hands on the bar to help somebody, mentally feel like they're safe and secure. I'll do that even with the Smith machine, leg press even. I'll keep my hands. We recently had one of our clients who's in his early 60s, Jake Johansson. He's a council member, and his goal was to be able to stack the leg press machine, which is 300 pounds, which is really isolateral. So it's 600 pounds, believe it or not, for reps of 6 to 8. That was his goal. And we've hit it. So I helped push that out. And then I kept my hands close because I know there is a security factor in that. So even as trainers, we definitely spot that way, staying tight, keeping our hands sometimes even on a person's wrists if they're doing dumbbell exercises, not helping them, but spotting them. So I just wanted to back up and say that in my professional experience, spotting has shown me that clients feel so much more safe when you do that and push harder. All right. So now let's move on to assisted reps or forced reps. That's where you actually are assisting somebody, even if it's minutely, even if it's like 5%, like they're pushing 100%, they hit failure, you push 5%, they're giving it all they have, and they do a few more repetitions. That is called forced reps. All right. So that has shown to increase somebody's strength by over 40%. Now, you don't want to do that all the time. You don't want to do that on every set, and that's a whole another podcast. But like if all somebody ever did was forced reps on everything or assisted reps on every single set, every single workout, they would get burned out. So no, we don't advocate doing that all the time. But maybe on your last set of an exercise, a forced repetition, an assisted repetition or 2 or 3, can really help somebody. Well, I shouldn't say can, because research says it does. A person will build their strength by 40% by using that technique. And that is absolutely a fact. And that's another thing we would all do as young gym rats trying to get stronger in the gym is, like it or not, this is like the late 80s and early 90s. You're working out with your workout partners and they're like, no, I said 10 more, and you're like, what? Hands in the bar. Now they're pulling. It's like you're not even benching anymore. They're doing like an upright row and you're just hanging on for dear life. But, obviously kids will take it too far. But there's absolute truth to the fact that assisted reps or forced reps done appropriately, like I said, done as far as the last set of an exercise for just 2 or 3 reps will lead to significant strength. And that significant strength will be 40%, right? So what does all this mean? It means you can't get by without a little help from your friends. Like, these are the things that matter, people. And so many times people love to get into these arguments, right? They do it all the time, whether it be on social media or kind of like in their group messaging or among friends, right? People love to argue. And I'm not just talking strength training. I'm talking everything. People get so wrapped up into these big macro matters and they don't pay attention at all to the micro matters at all. Like, we can talk about the perfect workout program and it's not going to help you in the least unless you actually get to the gym. Or we can talk about, is this a great technique I should be using? And I'd say, I don't know, or get a workout partner, because workout partner, kind of does 2 things for you. Number 1, they assist you with accountability, which is huge. And number 2, they can spot you, which will give you some security, and they can assist you, which will give you some benefits. So, there's all these big things, and then there's these like common sense things, common sense things that we can fall back on and go, oh, I didn't really know the science behind it. And, that's always kind of been my job, is to take the things that like we know to work and go, well, it's not just theory. Let's take these complicated matters. Let's break them down. Let me show you the science on it. And you'll see that actually, what they're saying is true. All right. So, think about that today. If you come to my gym and you work out at the gym, it's already covered. We do that. We spot, we encourage, we hopefully make you feel safe, because I know that is huge in a gym or really anywhere else in any kind of a relationship. Safety is absolutely critical. But if you don't have that luxury of having a personal trainer or a trainer or people that at the gym, go find one. Again, I know that's a luxury, so I don't mean go find a trainer. Go find a workout partner. Find somebody who will spot you. At the very least, if you go to the gym by yourself and you're on your last set of an exercise that would require maybe some kind of spotting, to say, hey, can you watch me on these and just kind of like make sure that my form stays good? And, if you really have to, please assist. Go ask for help, man. Asking for help is an absolute sign of security, not weakness. All right? We can't get by without a little help from our friends. Thank you for listening to today's program. I ask you to please follow the show wherever you get your podcasts, and please select automatic download, because that really helps the show. Now I want to thank Overhead Door of Daytona Beach, the area's premier garage door company. They have the best product. They have the best service. I personally vouch for Jeff and Zach Hawk, the owners. They are great people with a great company. If you have any garage door needs, please give them a shout at 386-222-3165.